This topic arose after a discussion about how many world wars Christians had started, and somebody, a European in fact, said, "Why didn't you say Europeans instead of Christians?" And I said, that would be racist, because it would be blaming Europeans for starting 2 world wars just because they're European. And I'm saying, you shouldn't blame people for the... Just a minute. You shouldn't blame people for behaving in that way just because of the colour of their skin. I mean, it is easy to do that, I know, but maybe there are other reasons. Maybe Europeans have been influenced by their religion, or even influenced by the failure of their religion, which they can't bring themselves to discuss. There's obviously something wrong with them. I can think it'd be quite fair to blame what they do on the colour of their skin. That would be shockingly racist. But they are behaving in a most neurotic way, and the problem with them is that they can't keep promises. They say yes when they mean no. They mean yes when they say no. I mean, who knows what they're thinking? They are behaving like women, even the men, I'm afraid. And this happens when men live in a matriarchy and they try to make the rules of the matriarchy work for them. And so what they do is they anticipate and they pander to women. They anticipate the preferences of women in the hope of profiting by it, by, catering for them and egging these women on, things like such as chick lit and with novels of sex and shopping and sex toys and it's all right to do what you feel like. It's okay to have sex on the first date. It's okay not to marry. It's okay not to have babies. And if you feel down in your 40s, you can always kill yourself. You can go to Switzerland. This is basically what the men of a degenerate matriarchy do. They don't question their matriarchy because they know that they're only individuals and they would be crushed by their matriarchy. But they still like to pretend that they're Christian and they have Christian roots and all that Christocrat that they're supposed to believe in. And sadly for them, they are held in contempt by their women and any woman they hope to impress because they can't keep their promises. They don't know what a principle is. They don't have the ability to understand how to deal with people at all. They lack self-awareness. They are neurotic. And worst of all, they can't tell the truth, or if they do, they will end up apologizing for it 3 days later, if not sooner. They really don't have any principles. All they know is their hatred and their fear, and it is their emotion that gives them their identity. That's why they're mostly anti-Semites and Islamophobes and racists. And now they will be increasingly accused of misogyny if they ever dare to challenge the matriarchy or to complain about feminism. And they can't complain about feminism and get away with it if they don't have a religion. That's the long and short of it. They can't get out of their problems without discussing religion. And I've been in touch with Felix Rex, or Black Pigeon Speaks, on and off. He did say he would allow me to explain the situation on his channel, but unfortunately he doesn't think that I deserve the courtesy of a response. I have emailed him even, but it would appear that he doesn't think I am worthy of a response, and I can be kept waiting and waiting and waiting until he screws up the courage to have me on his channel, to the detestation of his anti-Semitic and Islamophobic subscribers. I guess he doesn't want to lose his super chats and his super stickers and, shit like that, And that is really the problem. The problem is that however honourable he thinks he is, however much more truth he is telling his subscribers, that is over and above what they get from mainstream media, ultimately he is dependent on his subscribers to whom he looks for an income, and therefore he hesitates. He doesn't want to piss them off by platforming me, because I'm going to tell them what it is that is a problem, and they won't like it. They won't like my solution. They won't like my diagnosis, and I don't know what he's doing. He prefers to, milk the most commercial forms of viewership, talking endlessly about the fog of war, Ukraine, the bomb went off here, the guns fired over there, and the little lost boys would just love it. They want to hear about bombs and buildings being demolished and cities being invaded, whatever the crap these, lost boys of the anti-Semitic Islamophobic bent like, that he panders to. And now he's gone quiet because somebody called Coach Red Pill has been receiving death threats or something. I don't know. But I haven't heard from Felix Rex. He's keeping me waiting. He's pissing me around. Like they all do, of course. They think they can keep me waiting forever, so I might just, grow old, get sick and die, and then they don't have to talk about my detestable ideas anymore. So they are really like toddlers who, on seeing something frightening, cover their eyes with their tiny little hands so they don't have to look at the thing that frightens them. But how constructive is this if they can't see their enemy, but their enemy can see them and see how contemptibly stupid and cowardly and hypocritical and morally vacuous they are? It's the same with that lot, isn't it? Ed Dutton, Millennial Woes, Felix Rex, aka Black Pigeon Speaks. They can't talk about the thing that is wrong. That's because Felix has to pander to the pathetic anti-Semites, Islamophobes, and racists in his Telegram group. And they are just clueless lost boys. And he has to pander them because they pay for his super chats. They're not as bad as the one in Joel Davis's Telegram group. It's only a matter of time, I suppose, before Felix removes me from his Telegram group because he can't take it anymore. But that's fine. That's fine. I always ask nicely, and I have asked nicely. I have shown great patience for these unmarriageable losers and lost boys of what they call nationalism, who can't even define the term nationalism. I've suggested it could be defined as government in the national interest, but I haven't received any interest at all in discussing these matters because these are ideas. And these pathetic losers who are mostly uneducated, lost boys, terrified of being cancelled by each other, I suppose. They can't talk about ideas. They can only focus on looking at things that they hate, and boy, do they hate Muslims and mosques, and they don't want to talk about anything else. Yes, I know Thomas Barden Rees is streaming, and I don't care. They can come later. What does Thomas Barden Rees talk about anyway? He always moves swiftly on when he gets to an interesting topic because he's autistic. He can't control his emotions, can he? And he can't bear anybody disagreeing with him. And these are the bigger channels of YouTube, and that's the best they can do. Thomas Barton Rees with his, put it this way, he's not going to get married, is he? None of you are. And the lost boys of the alt-right will never be able to discuss what is really wrong with their society. Even the educated ones, even those like Felix, who was supposed to have how many hundreds of thousands of subscribers, can't do it, can't talk to me. Probably because he already knows what I'm going to say, and he's had plenty of time to confer, like, ooh, that Claire Cole wants to come on my channel. What shall I say to her? It's the end now, isn't it? It's all gonna crash and burn while you pathetic lost boys will just cover your eyes with your chubby little hands or put a blanket over yourselves because you can't deal with problems of the real world without turning away and fantasizing about it being somebody else's fault. And that's why your civilization is going to end. And it will never get better because, well, it won't get better, will it? It won't get better because you won't acknowledge that you're wrong, and it won't get better unless you correct it, and you will never acknowledge that you have done anything wrong that needs correcting. So keep on walking to the edge of the cliff and have a nice flight down to the rocks below.